So I was basically just left trying to just tell everybody I don't know what's going on, but I'll find out. And as soon as I do, I'll let everybody know. And it was just kind of like that for a couple weeks. And then he comes back and he's not the same at all.
GM, this is Gramajo here. This week I sat down with Abnormality, the project owner of the Culture Project. He took over this project and not in the best of terms. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, so let's dig in. Wanted to get in with who is, your intro, who is Abnormality, or if you want to go by your name, that's fine as well.
Yeah, Abnormality is a gamer handle I've used since like 97 or 98. And then I go by just my full name on Twitter, which is @JoshRipple. And I'm currently the owner of the Culture Project, which is something I took over a little over a year ago, which is heavily focused on generative art and FX hash mostly, but ArtBlocks as well. And yeah, that's who I am.
Awesome, man. Yeah. And then as I mentioned to you on Discord, my name's Juan, so we can both dox ourselves a little bit. So you've been gaming since the 90s. All right. That's what that is.
Yeah, since I was a teenager. Yeah, we used to have LANs in high school with a bunch of friends, and yeah.
What games were you guys playing?
We played Half-Life when it first came out,
nice.
99, I think, and we played Counter-Strike when it was just an add-on to Half-Life, and Doom, and I don't know, all kinds of games. StarCraft. It was fun.
Love it. So, wanted to know what Discord servers do you kind of spend the most time in, just so people get kind of a sense of like where you spend most of your time in Web3.
In Web3, it's the Culture Project. I obviously post a lot to there. Just art that's coming out and articles I write and everything. And then the Monsters Discord, which I'm sure you know, is probably like my second home. I'm there a lot. I lurk a lot in most Discords, honestly. I lurk more than I engage. And then there's smaller ones I like to visit, like Aperture MP and Reswa's Discord. And then I hardcore lurk in FX Hash and ArtBlocks and just see what's going on in there and art that's coming out and stuff I may have missed that's been out.
Oh, awesome, man. Are you in the ArtBlocks one too as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I think I was in that one for a bit, but it was getting kind of... There's so many Discord servers that I'm in, and it's kind of chaotic. I was like, I think I need to get rid of some.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm in way too many.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get involved with like Web3? Like, what made you go from, were you actually in the traditional art space, like before Web3?
No, I've always loved art and admired it and seen art, but I've never purchased a lot of art or, been an artist. I'm a terrible artist, but I do photography. That's how I guess, express myself through art.
Oh, awesome. And have you been shooting for a while?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I took a college course that was photography based. It was like 2001 maybe, and I've been shooting ever since. I've done some weddings. I've done real estate. I currently do real estate photography for my dad whenever he needs it. And I just shoot a lot of abandoned stuff, and I like exploring. We do a lot of hiking, so I do landscape stuff too. It's just I shoot a lot less now that we have kids and everything, but I still love it.
Yeah, what kind of camera do you use for shooting?
I have a Canon 6D full frame.
Oh, nice. Oh, damn. That explains that shot.
You really have to have a full frame if you do real estate. There's cramped rooms and everything.
Makes sense. Have you ever thought about, slight tangent, but have you ever thought about getting into the whole 360 webcam space?
Ah, man. I've messed with it a little bit through a guy here in town, but not really. That's not my thing.
Yeah. Seems to be I noticed it when the pandemic kicked off, that became a thing, to do virtual tours with those.
Yeah. Everything virtual was popping off.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I never
Yeah,
really,
so go ahead.
well, I never really thought about I guess the real estate and 360 virtual tours. That's obviously was probably a big thing.
Yeah, I think there's like a platform now that like blew up, of course, and got really popular. That like I forget the name of it actually, but a lot of like real estate companies use it to
Host.
to create like the host and create those virtual tours or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you weren't involved with it, but you do photography and you like that as well. So what made you like go in? Like, what got you into Web3 or just crypto as a whole?
Well, I joined the whole crypto craze in 2017 and was heavily into ETH and other altcoins. And then I guess it's close to 2 years now. I started the NFT endeavor. What was the project? There was one specific project that was backed like by stars, people from Hollywood. It was like Ashton Kutcher and his wife. It was a cartoon thing. I can't even think of it, like Stoned Cats or something like that. So like that was coming out, and it was like a lot of hype behind it, and that was one of the first NFT projects I really heard about. I didn't really hear much about NFTs before that, and then I went in there and I don't know, got in the Discord, and it seemed really scammy and weird, and it was my first experience with it, and it wasn't a great one. The way they had the mechanics set up for selling, like people could buy a lot and just fill their wallets, and they said, well, the people that need them will get to them. It was just really weird. And after that, I just started branching out and going to a bunch of different projects and minted some really just random things at first, just trying to get used to the blockchain and how it worked. I didn't really get anything that was really good and, I don't know, art-wise for a while. At least 6 months probably of just buying weird crap, I would say.
What was that first NFT that you ended? So it was the Ashton Kutcher one. Is that what you?
No, I didn't get it. I wasn't even able to buy it. That was my first gas burn too. Like the first thing I tried to buy. Obviously back then gas was really expensive, and like I lost. I don't even remember, like $100 or some shit. And I was just like, I don't understand this. Like, why am I losing money and I didn't get anything? So just like, it was a big eye opener for the space and just figuring out how everything worked. I don't know. I just spent some time just learning about the technical side of the blockchain and just kind of minting random stuff and not spending a lot of money on anything before I really started picking out projects I liked.
Yeah. What was this again? Late 2021?
Yeah, it had to be in 21, in that late 21.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think we probably got in around the same time then. So I think you said you were like researching blockchain and all that. Now that you've kind of been in the space for a bit, definitely over a year, probably approaching 2 years now. And specifically like the gen art space, what are some advantages you think blockchain technology enables artists or community builders or anything really to the gen art space or art as a whole?
I mean, I just think I have the most obvious answers with those, just like the proof of ownership and the transparency of who owns what, and like artists getting their royalties. I think royalties was a big thing for me. It's amazing that artists can finally keep making money off of things that people overly sell and make tons of money off of, and those artists kind of stay poor. It feels like a revolution in the art space. I think that's why a lot of traditional art collectors have started to embrace generative art and other pieces of the NFT art scene, like the 1/1s, and I don't know, there's a lot of great artists out there.
Yeah, there is. And a lot more coming into the space too, I feel like.
I mean, I feel it's slowed down. I don't know if that's just engagement or It's just lots of people have left recently, and I don't know. There has been a resurgence with the big sales lately, and more people are buying in on ArtBlocks and other things, and it feels like it's turning around.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that $1 million Fidenza sale is definitely
That's crazy.
eye-opener.
Crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, let's talk about. I know you've referenced it a couple times. So for those that don't know, what is the Culture Project, and we can go from there.
It's a project that started about a year and a half ago. It's the first generative art project that I bought. It's my big introduction into gen art. The owner at the time, 0x Culture or Ox Culture, however you say that, he just released some whips, like works in progress of the Brushstrokes project and a bunch of alpha groups. And I was a DOTS member. I don't know if you know what that is. A lot of people don't anymore.
No.
Well, it was a big alpha group and a cool project that's still ongoing. We could talk about it later if you want to.
Yeah. No, I've never heard of it.
Project. But yeah, so they dropped pictures of it in that Discord and the alpha and some other big alphas at the time, and the art blew people away. I mean, it was just really cool. It's flow fields, which has been done ad nauseum at this point, but it was unique, and it still is. I mean, I still think it's a beautiful project. I love the ones that I own still. But yeah, so that really came a big hit with a lot of those groups, and they were going to have a Twitter release and a Discord. So as soon as all that stuff happened, I mean, we were in there immediately, and we got on the early stages where we got, whitelisted and everything. We could buy at a discount because we were the first people there, and it really blew up. There was the Discord was 1,000 people were going to be able to join in the first 24 hours, and it filled up in an hour, 2 hours.
Oh, wow. And
it blew up, and he had all these grand plans and ideas, and he was really smart. He was a programmer for Coinbase. I think he still is. And he really knew how contracts worked, and he would do these live spaces on video where he would show you and just explain everything and answer any questions anybody had. I mean, he was a really cool guy. He was really likable and just very intelligent, and he had just really cool art.
Yeah, the brushstrokes. That I know that for the the 1 year anniversary article that you wrote in your Substack. Also the same name, right? The Culture Project.
Yeah,
for anybody that wants
Project.
to check it out. I'll link it as well in the show notes. But I know you attached a couple of the images, and yeah, that was the first time I actually had ever heard of that or even seen them, and they were nice. Like the ones that you included as examples, those were really nice.
Yeah.
I also I did like that about kind of what you were saying in that article as well, which was, that the artist was doing live streams and showing kind of explaining to people like how contracts worked and all that, because I feel like that, that level of, behind the scenes is always fun to see as well. Live.
Definitely, especially when you don't understand it and there's so much to it. I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's super complicated.
And just having someone there to just break down any dumb question you may have and just really take the time, and I don't know, it felt like something really special at the time. It was. I mean, it was something special at the time.
Yeah. No, I could definitely sense that on your writing. I got that feeling very quickly, and I think someone even had a comment too that was a really long, in-depth comment about some of the stuff that happened after, and we can jump into it in a bit.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it had some impact on people as well. So just keep telling me a little bit more about the beginning. So it filled up 1,000 spaces in 2 hours and stuff.
Well, then he just started to release more of the project and what he wanted to do and how it was going to be physicals. And at that time, nobody was doing physical stuff. No one talked about it. I mean, things were so different then. And the things he were talking about, I mean, few people were doing or promising, which there were so many promises back then. And everybody was doxxed back then too. Like no one cared about that, which is just kind of mind blowing now after everything that's gone down in the space. So like no one cared that no one knew who he was. So I mean, it really was all about the art at the time.
Yeah.
And then I guess he had some posts about mods, and I jumped on. I was like, I became one of the head mods for the Discord, and that's kind of how I became more involved behind the scenes. And I did some videos for some of the projects that were coming up, because he already had like 3 other projects that were going to come out, and one was like an ASCII kind of faces thing, which has been done a couple times since then. But they were really cool and unique looking. And then there was a pre-brushstrokes, like a version 0 of brushstrokes that was like the inspiration for that release, that he never did anything with. But he would show us like everybody pictures of it and whips of it, and everyone, he promised everybody they would get that at some point. So he actually, when he left some stuff behind, like the ETH, the ENS name, and the Discord and the Twitter and all the key components to the project, and he left some ETH behind, whatever was left. And yeah.
Yeah, and then I know you alluded to it in your article, but what kind of led to the downfall of the project and you kind of taking over for it, like kind of, I think it was like a share taking over for a bit, and then now you fully taken over it at this point, right? It's just you?
Yeah, it's me and just some friends that are mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, let's see. He, at some point, like these projects that he promised, one was supposed to come out within like a month or something along those lines. And it never happened. And after that month, he kind of disappeared for a couple weeks, like literally ghosted. Nothing. No Twitter, wouldn't respond to Discord. So I was basically just left trying to just tell everybody, I don't know what's going on, but I'll find out. And as soon as I do, I'll let everybody know. And it was just kind of like that for a couple weeks. And then he comes back, and he's not the same at all. Just like he's really depressed. And he tells everybody basically that he spent all the funds that were going to finance everything that he promised, and only had like, I want to say it was like 4 or 5 ETH left out of 50 plus ETH.
Oh man.
He spent it on, there's 2 specific coins that he mentioned that were really cool technology that he dumped a lot of money in, apparently, and they crashed. And then there were several NFT projects that he bought heavily in, one that did absolutely terrible right after he bought into, and then one that MFers, which crashed for a little while, and then the community took over, and it did really, really well, and still doing well. But he sold all those at a really low price when they crashed, and I don't know, he just got depressed because he lost all the money trying to make more money with it to do everything he wanted to do. And he just ended up saying he was going to leave, and that was it. I mean, he disappeared again for a couple weeks, and then came back saying he had tried to give the project to somebody, and I said I would take it. I would, if you give me everything, whatever's left, I would try and just do whatever I can to provide some kind of value for the people that are left over. And I mean, it just ended up some other person, he agreed that he would give the Twitter to them for whatever reason, and then gave the rest to me, and it became me and him running it for a little while.
Did you get a hold of the Twitter handle in the end?
Yeah, I ended up getting it. The guy was going through some just real life problems where he had a bunch of stuff he had to take care of and just couldn't be around anymore. So he just gave it all to me, and I have ownership of everything now, and have been running it for a little over a year.
Man, that's wild. And then the project itself, it's already surpassed 100 ETH, right, in total?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, so man, that's a lot.
yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, that's not like I mean, even 100 ETH right now is $200,000.
Yeah. Well, it was crazy. Like, so he sends me the ENS and all that stuff and whatever was left over, and at the time, I mean, it was like 20K in Ethereum, which was kind of mind blowing to me. I was like, you're just handing this over, and I could literally just take this, and
Yeah, you could rug everyone even more. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's such an odd situation. And then I was like, well, how can I'm not technical. I can't write code. I can't provide those kind of things. I can't even release new projects, you know? How do I provide value to everybody that's left over who wasn't so pissed off and left? And, you know, it was just, I don't know. It was a really strange place to be in.
Yeah, did you get a lot of heat coming your way, even though you were kind of like trying to, you know, remedy the situation as best you can?
There was no heat to me at all. It was all directed at him, and he was gone. So it was just me, like, having to take the heat in a way, just indirectly, and try and, I don't know. I mean, it was so difficult for some people. They were just so pissed off. I mean, like, when this thing was blowing up, people were paying, like, the rare versions were going for 0.7 and higher. Some people paid an ETH, you know. I recently bought one that was bought by somebody a year ago for 0.67. I bought it for like 0.02, which feels terrible, but I mean, it was a rare one. Every time I see a rare one really low, I put it into the community wallet, and it's, I don't know.
You gotta let me know, man, because I need to get one of those.
I'll send you one. I have a few in the
I think the story is just like, it's so crazy to me, man. It's fascinating.
It's wild. I mean, it's sad thing is probably not the only story like that. I mean, people have been rugged in this space at this point. I mean, it's crazy to think about.
No, I would agree 100%. I feel like it's very common. I feel like it's also very common to see, or I feel personally like, just seeing that level of success overnight, you know, like it doesn't even have to be the levels of 50 ETH. It could literally be like, I don't know, 20 ETH. And to me, like, that's still a decent chunk of change.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. That's a decent chunk of change. And then, you know, the crypto space or the NFT space moves so quickly that, you know, weeks of him ghosting you probably felt like an eternity. And then
it did. It really did.
Because it moves that quickly. And then, yeah, man, you're just chasing, like, if, you know, like when you're in that hype, and definitely back then we were in a hype cycle for sure. Like, you get so much FOMO, like, and every week there's like a new thing that everyone is chasing, you know?
And then if you don't make those people money, they get upset and they're very vocal about it, and that's a strange space.
Yeah, I feel that.
But there's, I mean, I'm complaining a lot just because I guess I'm talking about a bad story, but there's a lot of good in this space as well. I guess I would love to emphasize that.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, we're talking about kind of what transpired, and then, you know, we'll get into some of the good stuff that you're working on. But so taking a step back from all, you know, those emotions and all that, what are some lessons or kind of takeaways or experience that you can like, either personally, like you, like taking over a project like that, or, you know, just from the outside looking in, with helping an artist like that, like what's something that you can share from learning about all that?
As far as taking over a project, I guess it would be, if you're trying to fill someone else's shoes, don't try and do what they could do. Like, look at your strengths and try and provide the value that you're good at, and something that you can just naturally do. I mean, at first I was all like I was so stressed out about it. I was like, how am I going to release these projects? How am I going to, and I felt like I had to do everything so quickly. I mean, it's just, the space, like you said, moves so fast that you just slow down and take a breath, and just kind of, everything doesn't have to be done so quickly. I mean,
yeah, I feel that, man. I think sometimes we all need to go touch some grass, as we say on Twitter. Yeah. Just go outside and take some pics with the camera. That's how I kind of decompress sometimes. You know, it's like working out, or literally just walking around the neighborhood with my camera and just trying to not think about whatever it is that's on my mind.
Yeah. As far as other experience, like, I think the market has naturally experienced a lot of things I've experienced, and they've already adapted, and like, doxing really is a big thing for creators now. Like, you can't just be anonymous most of the time anymore. I mean, it works for some people, but the majority of big projects, people want to know who they're investing in, you know. It's just like, it's changed a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so all right, so you've taken over the project and all that, and like you said, there are some positives. So what have you been up to with the community, or what's the community been up to? I know you've been doing some good stuff for the culture project and the server and everything.
Yeah, and so my whole thing was bringing value to the people that were left over and the holders. And I was like, I used to write like a long time ago, like 20 years ago. And I used to love it. It's like maybe I was big into FX Hash at this point on generative art, and it was just like my scene. So I was like, maybe not a lot of people are on Tezos that collect gen art that are in like ArtBlocks, and because our brushstrokes project was on Ethereum, so a lot of those collectors obviously were probably on that blockchain. So introducing them to FX Hash and buying different pieces off of floor from artists I like and just giving them away to the community. And like I've had so many members in the community have to create wallets where they've like, what wallet should I get? And then I introduce them to Kakai, however you say that one, or the Temple wallet, or
Yeah.
And it's an interesting experience, And then some of those people have gone on to buy other pieces, and they like that blockchain, and how gas is, and the prices, and it's just a great chain to collect art on.
Yeah, FX Hash is dangerous, man.
Yes, yeah. I went down a rabbit hole when I first got into that, man.
I mean, it's such a awesome platform. I think for me, like ArtBlocks is, well, the price of ETH too as a whole. Sometimes just the ticket for admission for entry in ArtBlocks is, it's pricey. And I don't know enough about gen art to be like, oh yeah, like this is what's like going to take off next. And it's not always about what's going to take off next. I think that's where I get back to like, just buy the things that you like for sure.
Definitely.
But it's also like I don't have an infinite money machine over here either. So like, I do need some stuff to work out sometimes a little bit. But that's what made FX Hash like really dangerous for me, because it was like, I don't know, like Tezos now is like a stable coin. It's like $1 or something. So
it's even lower. It's like 89 cents.
Is it really? I might have to buy some more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they're like, it's 50 Tezos. I'm like, I don't care if this does well or not. It's like, I'll just buy it because it looks cool, man. It's like, whatever. Yeah, FX Hash is great. So let's see. So you went into the FX Hash community, and you help people kind of go down the Tezos rabbit hole, which is a great rabbit hole to go down.
Yes.
To.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with that FX Hash? That's like the one thing I feel like I struggled with the FX Hash is like, there's just like whatever the fastness of what Web3 is as a whole. I feel like with FX Hash, it was like on roids.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it even went even faster. And I'm not trying to downplay it with like, they're using code or whatever. So I think like, the outputs are just faster versus like someone that's hand drawing. And it's not a knock. It's just like, it's what it is. But even with FX Hash, when it was first rolling out, like, I think, they had like that weird minting and open public schedule where it was like only open for like 2 days or whatever, and then it would close for like 3 or something. But it was pretty hard to keep up, to be honest. So how do you do it?
I mean, it's tough. One of the reasons I started a new article that I do every Sunday now. It's like a FX Hash weekly roundup where I just see what's coming out, what's been posted for that week, and just pick the pieces I like and write about them and show some of the outputs from it. And that helps, but I mean, there's still stuff that I miss. Like, there's something that came out last week that I had no idea about, and I'm just like, the secondary's flying, so I missed out on it. And there's where did this one come from? I mean, it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's what I enjoy your newsletter personally. Is I feel like it helps me just see what's happening in FX Hash because, man, yeah, I get lost in there pretty quickly. I get lost in the sauce. So what's it like, running a Discord server, running this project, writing a newsletter? You got your finger in a little bit of everything, kind of like me. What's that like for you? And it sounds like you have a family as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
How do you do it?
well, it's,
teach,
it's
teach me some.
oh,
Share
man.
some wisdom.
I don't have any for you, man. It's rough. I mean, I have 2 kids. One's 10, one's 7. So, I mean, I'm constantly doing stuff with them. They have the hobbies they're into. And then my wife recently went back to a boot camp for like a little college thing for coding, which she was doing for 6 months. So, like, I had 0 time to myself. So writing was difficult, but I mean, I made time for it. And it's something I really, really enjoy. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's just like soothing or something. But I just like looking and doing research about artists, and it's a way to find stuff I've never seen before as well. It's just an enjoyable hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I it's weird because I didn't, similar to, yes, on making time for it. I definitely feel you on that one now. I feel like I have to be very conscious about
One rule.
making time for it.
You
Yeah.
like set aside either every day or every other day, even like 30 minutes of writing. Where you just write about something.
Yeah.
Project you want to work on, and build on it. And then, I mean, it's just it helps set a ritual and a schedule that you can get used to, and then add more time to as you go.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I started doing that a little bit more now. I think the first 3 months of my kid, I don't even know. I think I was just running on fumes. Somehow I made it all work, but also not at the same time. I had to take a break. I had to take a break from the newsletter for a bit. But it's funny too. Like writing's like, we all write. We write letters, or well, I guess we don't even write letters. Actually, we write emails,
Yeah.
tweets, and stuff like that. But it's funny. The funny thing about writing, I noticed, is like I actually got started with my newsletter to like, kind of like what you're saying, just to practice getting better at writing my thoughts and just being better at, like, I'm not even gonna say long form, because really what I'm doing is not even that long form to begin with, but just longer than a tweet. And yeah, it's like it's weird. Like if you don't do it often, like it's hard to come up with the words to write sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and read the first articles I wrote when I got back into writing, and oh my God, they're terrible. There's like, and it's I could see progress, like it's getting better as I go, and I don't know, it was kind of terrible and nice at the same time to read to read the old article. But I think it's something people should do. They should go back and read things that they've written in the past and see just how they've progressed. And I think it can help also. It's something that's helped me.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to be a good writer for sure. I like the way that you write too. Just to,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And it's good that you're saying, like, you can at least go back, read your first article or two, and be like, oh yeah, I definitely write better than that. At least you're conscious that you're getting better at it.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could be like, oh, I'm super good at this. Yeah. Then what was I going to ask you actually? So I know I know you were talking about your kids and they have their hobbies too. And I think I've seen, so for the people that don't know on the podcast, I ended up buying, I think, was it the Genesis for you or for your daughter? Is that what it
was for me?
Yeah. It was a shot of this beehouse that I guess there used to be bees there.
Yes.
Not anymore. But do you want to talk about that actually? Because, I mean, obviously we're pumping up my bags at this point, but it's a beautiful picture for sure.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to run to my desk and go buy this immediately. Because you actually had shown that image a couple times, I think, before. You had used it somewhere else. I forget where.
I posted it on Twitter as just a random abandoned photo I took, and then I posted it to Discord you're in. I don't know which one.
Yeah. I think that's where I see, because I had seen it before, and I was like, I was always like, this shot right here. I was like, I like this.
I'm
When
gonna
it,
say
I
it's
was like, if it ever meant, it's mine.
You did some kind of GIF, like a give me GIF for the cat or something. I remember when I
That's what
posted
it was.
it. So
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that picture? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
so like I said earlier, that me and my wife used to explore abandoned places. We used to go hiking a lot and camping, and I used to rock climb a lot before I had kids, and we were very outdoorsy people before we had children. So there's this house that we would pass when we would go down this old dirt road in the country, and it was obviously abandoned. I mean, the trees were all over it, and it was just falling apart. And that was like 10 years ago. And we come up on it, and you could just hear the bees in the air. I mean, it was like a hum. It was loud. Like, it's the loudest I've ever heard bees before. And we just walk up on it, and you could just see the hive. It was that big, and yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I got closer to it than I probably should have. I was actually kind of uncomfortable being as close as I was to it, and took some pictures of it. But they never cared about us. They paid no attention to us. We would go through the house and I don't know, just take photos of whatever was left behind, and just kind of interesting to explore places that are just being retaken over by nature.
Have you ever researched like what happened? Like, was it someone's house or like?
Yeah, it's on family property to a neighbor of theirs down the road that I've talked to and asked him about it, and it was owned by some relative down the road that passed away, and no one really owns it. You know, it's just a cattle property now. So some family member just puts cattle property on it and just cleans it up every now and then. And I guess like 5 years ago, they took a tractor to it and ripped down all the trees and brushes and like tons of stuff around it, and ended up taking out the beehive also. And yeah, the bees ended up leaving after that.
Nuts. Bees are crazy too. I don't know if you've heard that like that Joe Rogan podcast with the bee person.
No,
like
I haven't.
Woman. Yeah, I don't really listen to Joe Rogan too often, but somehow this one made its way from the algorithm, made its way to me on YouTube, and yeah, it was interesting hear her talk about bees or whatever. And that the reason why I bring it up is like you were talking about how like it was like you could hear it and it was super loud, and she says something very similar where like apparently they fly like 100 feet in the air or something, but you just hear this like loud humming.
Oh yeah.
Like buzzing sound because there's just so many of them congregated together.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, bees freak me out, man. Have you gotten your kids involved with blockchain at all? I think I know some people that do that.
No, yes. So I've minted a few things on Tezos for them each, but I haven't made Tezos wallets for them. But yeah, there's some cute PFPs that they liked that we minted, and there was like this weird robot PFP that my son liked that we minted, and then there's an artist that I've collected a few things on that she does some, I don't know, I guess I'd call it girly art. I don't think it's doing it any justice though, but it's really nice art, and my daughter loves it. So I've collected a few pieces of her work for my daughter.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I remember reading that somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, man! I'm happy I can do that."
My daughter has a nice ETH collection, actually. She ended up going to Marfa with me last year, and we minted a Marfa Yucca for free for her, and I got to mint one there as well. And we ended up meeting somebody there, Phil Mahan, who does stuff for Bright Moments. And we got to sit down with him and chill with him and just talk to him about art and different artists that have released through Bright Moments. And he did a minting experience with Karis. Like, he recreated a Coinbase wallet for her on my phone, and she minted her first ever NFT with him and got to mint a Bright Moments. And it was a really, really cool experience. And then literally an hour after that, she got to mint her second NFT, which was a Marfa Yucca. So she has we've added a few other things to her ETH collection, but yeah, she has a cool collection now and has her own ENS address and everything.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm looking forward to.
You mean start now. You just get little, either if the boy or girl, you just get stuff that you think they may like and start them a wallet.
Yeah, this is what I tell my wife when I buy more Pokemon cards. It's for my kid.
I mean, my son loves Pokemon cards, so I mean, there may be logic to that.
Yeah, right. There you go. We'll see. I'm hoping my daughter will like Pokemon cards because that's definitely the excuse I have.
My daughter loves the animes for Pokemon. She watches all those, so I mean, she loves Pokemon.
Yeah, I still watch it too. It's good stuff. So you mentioned Marfa. Yeah, do you want to? What is Marfa like? I actually haven't gotten a chance to go yet. I'm planning to go.
I hope you go.
I don't think I can go this year, but I'm probably gonna go next year.
That's cool.
But it's out in the middle of Texas.
Yeah, so I live in Texas, but I'm on the opposite side, and you know I've always wanted to go to an NFT event, but I can't travel to one. We just don't have the money to do that. But when they said like ArtBlocks was having a headquarters in Marfa and we're having a big event, I was like, man, I've got to go. But I like found out like maybe a couple weeks before the event, so I was gonna just like drive after work at 5 o'clock on a Friday for 8 hours or 9 hours to Marfa by myself. And my dad ended up going with me and my daughter ended up going with me, and I took that Friday off. So I mean it made it really, really enjoyable. It was a lot of fun. We ended up staying like 30 minutes away from Marfa, and yeah, we got to go to several events. The ArtBlocks headquarters was amazing. It was really cool. And then there's another place called Glitch that just opened, and I don't know if they have a partnership with Proof, but Kevin Rose of Proof had like an event there, and I went and sat there and listened to all the different people that had come through, and that was probably the coolest event I went to. I think all the stuff I learned and the people I listened to, I really liked that event.
Yeah, it seems like a really fun event. Like I definitely want to go to it. I don't even know, like I had never heard of Marfa before.
I haven't either. My dad has. I mean, he collects like some old maps and other random stuff. So like I guess Marfa's known for some antique stuff and some other art stuff. So I mean, he had heard of it, but I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, that seems to be like a trend. Like I was reading about like people that knit, I think, or quilt.
Oh, really?
Maybe that's the same thing, but this like company or this couple ended up creating, like they just took over a whole town. I think it's in Texas too, actually, and they like took over a whole town, and it's like now the capital of like quilting. Like, so like there's like 10, 20 plus stores where like it's all about like knitting or quilting. So like one of them sells like special yarn, and I don't know. And I was like, what the hell is going on? But anyways, it reminded me of that. I was like, did they just pick Marfa and we're making this the capital of generative? Like, let's do it.
So the owner of ArtBlocks, Snowfro, there's an artist that moved to Marfa that has physical pieces, and he has these. I don't know that they're rocks. There's something that he has built out somewhere, and it's art that a lot of people really like, and apparently Snowfro has had lots of inspiration from that art and other stuff that's there. There's supposed to be a really good gallery in Marfa as well that I wasn't able to go to last time because it was booked, but it's supposed to have some really nice stuff there as well, like traditional art.
Okay.
So I mean, it is an art-centric town. So I guess when Snowfro moved there, I mean, he just thought that it would be the perfect place to have a headquarters, and I don't know, it's an interesting place. There's some really cool stuff there.
Yeah, I definitely need to go check it out. I don't know when, because like you said, like especially now, I'd feel guilty leaving my wife with a very small kid. But you know, someday soon I'll probably go. But yeah, it's super interesting. Never heard of Marfa, but I'm glad that you've gone at least. And I do like, you know, again, going back to your Substack and all that, I like that you kind of wrote about it and all that, because like for some of us because it really is, it's like the closest airport. I think me and you were chatting, it was like El Paso, and it's still like not that close.
No, yeah, I used to have to drive like 3 or 4 hours probably.
Yeah, exactly. And no offense to El Paso, but it's not, a capital or anything of that nature. But yeah, it's super. Just caught me off guard, and I'm like, all right, now I know I gotta go pay homage and go there. Do you know which artist it is, by any chance?
The one that Snowfire was inspired by?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember his name. I mean, I could probably Google it super quick and find out.
Nah, you're good. No worries. Unless you want.
I mean, I think I already found it. I think it's Donald Judd.
Oh, okay. Don't even know who that is.
He has a foundation there, so I'm pretty sure it's him.
Well, that makes sense. Guess the stars are aligning for it to be Marfa then. Yeah, so I mean, since you've gone and stuff, do you have any tips for anyone that's like the first time that they're gonna go? Should they wear their ledger around their neck or something?
No, don't do that. I went by myself for the most part. I mean, my daughter did go to a couple events, but she didn't stay very long. I mean, her and my dad went and did stuff. So, I mean, don't be shy. Just go meet people. I met a lot of people there, and it was just such a cool experience. And I did go to, there was multiple events they had at night, and I went to one at first, and it just really wasn't my scene. And so I left and then went to where Bright Moments was doing their thing, and that guy Phil was there, and so I hung out with them, and man, that was a fun party. They had a musician there, and it ended up being a really cool night. So there was like tons of artists, and yeah, you got to just hang out with people that have minted on FX Hash and ArtBlocks, and I met a lot of cool people.
Oh, I love that. It was there like is it all like mostly ArtBlock stuff, or was there actually some FX Hash kind of events as well?
No, it was all ArtBlock stuff, but there was just artists, I guess, that have released on both chains, so they've done on both platforms.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be cool to make it like a gen art thing, because I feel like, it's been fun seeing people move, like they start off in FX Hash for whatever reason, and then, move on to
vice versa.
ArtBlocks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was definitely FX Hash to ArtBlocks. I just started collecting a lot of them for the community wallet. ArtBlocks doing like really low bids on lots of cool different projects that I thought were by good artists, and got one to keep in the wallet and one to give away. And then we've given away like 28 different gen art pieces now to the community over the last year. So it's been really cool. Yeah,
no, I think that's awesome that you do that. Like again, trying to bring that value to all those that are sticking around. Hopefully,
definitely.
Some people have stuck around through thick and thin.
There's a small amount we've got still left over that are still there all the time, but yeah, a lot of people have left over time.
Yeah.
But we're still adding people too, though, which is the great thing with this Substack articles and everything. And I've connected with a lot of...
you said, sorry to...
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you said you, for other people too that maybe don't read your newsletter, but you did like a V0, like some of those works in progress that OX Culture had that you got a hold of. You were able to do another drop, right?
We're going to. I mean, we haven't even done it yet. I mean...
okay.
I'm probably going to do it on FX Hash. And... like I was saying before, I've met a lot of artists through the article just because I'm writing about them or I'm buying their stuff and giving it away, and artists obviously appreciate that kind of stuff. So I've Phenomena, I think is how you say his name. I'm pretty sure is one artist that I've met, and he's just helped me a lot behind the scenes with random stuff, and I think it may be a duo. I think there may be two of them, but. It's just different people like that. There's a lot of helpful people in this space.
There are.
He's going to help me release it on FX Hash if I need any help, because it's beyond me, I think.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. That's what I love about Web3 is that the community aspect's so strong. People are always willing to help out, and if you have questions, it's like it's very much. Like a high tide lifts all boats kind of thing. I think I butchered that phrasing, but it's not like the zero sum game kind of situation.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like I wrote an article recently, and then I had an artist that I wrote about contact me, and he was just asking me general questions about what I thought about his art, and it's just, I don't know, it's just cool to have experiences like that where you can actually talk to the people you're collecting from, or people that that you respect in some way. It's a cool space. I don't think that there's any other place where you can enjoy art like this.
Yeah, and you have access to the artists themselves. That's kind of the reason why I feel like I started this. Like I've been collecting from people and stuff, and people have been very willing to answer questions and help and me learn from them and all that. So it's great.
Yeah.
When are you gonna do the Culture Project and Zenkan? Like
an article about him?
No, like a collaboration drop.
Let's do it.
I know, right? Let's run it.
Yeah, I'm ready. Tell him to call me.
Exactly. So you do the coding and the drop. I'll just write an article.
Win-win.
Win-win, right? No. I'm sure he's cool. It's just
he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. Yeah, I agree, and he seems to do a lot of cool stuff. Let's see. So, if money wasn't an object, what are your top 3 grail gen art pieces that you would go after?
Man, I mean, if money was no object, Fidenza is definitely on the top of my list. I've always loved those. I think Cromie Scriggles, obviously. I love those things too. I think you should have
squiggles are awesome.
And then, I don't know, one of my other favorites, so it's kind of expensive, is Archetype. I think the same guy that did the Decagons for Deca Art did those. I can't think of his name. I'm so bad with names.
I'm super bad with names too, trust me. I'm really good with faces, in a kind of a creepy kind of way almost. But names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's others that aren't just overly crazy price, like Memories of Coilin and Harvest, Anticyclone, Fontana. On the ArtBlocks side. But if I was gonna go FX Hash, man, there's I'd buy a Hollow. Hands down, I'd buy Hollow first. That's my number one on FX Hash probably.
There you go.
But then Garden Monoliths, obviously. Talk about Zancan. You can't.
Yeah.
Gotta have Dragons, RGB, Takata. There's so many good ones. Man, I could keep going.
I've been really wanting an RGB.
Oh, they're so cool. One just went for 800, 850, which is crazy low. The fact that you can put bids now on FX Hash, and when you buy stuff on FX Hash, sometimes it takes a while to sell shit. It could sit there for a month before there's a purchase. So now that you can put bids in and people just want money really quickly, you can get away with some steals. I got something recently that I was just kind of blown away at the deal I got, and it was something at the top of my list that I could afford. Well,
damn, you're right. Man, you're on it. 800 Tezos.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Paranoia too.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. That's crazy. That's cheap.
That's cheap, man. I think.
And 89 cents, 90 cents right now for Tezos. You can get some deals right now on FX Hash.
That's insane. Yeah, I would do it I've always kind of wanted one of these pretty badly, so.
Time to break the piggy bank.
Yeah, might need to break the piggy bank on this one, actually. Yeah. I might have to delay. Hopefully nobody tweets about this. Just kidding. I think you're right. Yeah, it looks like people. Yeah, it looks like people are taking that. Because even floor is not that much more, anyways. Wow, that's insane.
Is the floor down that low on that project?
1,000.
Ah, it's already down to okay.
So it's not like it's 800 is not like that much of a gap.
No, it's not. But I mean,
That's
there's a lot of people just throwing things pretty low below floor, and floors can evaporate pretty quickly on FX hash.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I mean, it's just everything's pretty low, and they're
Except for Zancans. I feel like Zancans are still like the Garden Monolith ones. I'm pretty sure that's still like some crazy ass number.
I want to think they're like, I saw some 13K maybe, somewhere in that area.
That's
maybe.
not too bad. I think they were going for a lot higher before.
20, 25 maybe at some point.
You know what's dangerous too now is you could pay with credit card.
Oh, dude, don't. I've bought a couple. I bought 2 things.
On credit card?
Yeah, and I was like, after I did this, I was like, I am not going to do this again. This is dumb.
Yeah. I did like something pretty small to support an artist, and I was like, that was too easy. That's dangerous. I need to stop that.
I did do this. I was like, I didn't have any Tezos in my wallet, and the floor was kind of going quickly on something that just released. So I was like, okay, I'm bust out the credit card real quick.
That's insane. Squiggles, Fidenzas. Yeah. I'm trying to think of which one. Like, I think the most recent one that I liked was the Cargo one. I forget the name of the guy.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it Kim something?
I don't even know.
Is it the moving like?
Yeah, the moving one.
Yeah, it's Kim. Some. I don't know if it's a guy or girl, honestly. So I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
They have done some really cool stuff on FX Hash. It's something like reading a book or something like that is what it's called. And then she's done monochrome, or they have done monochrome 1.1, and some other stuff. They've got some cool stuff on FX Hash.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Actually minted one of those for the Culture Project and was able to mint one and then ended up selling it and making a good amount of money for the community wallet instead of giving it away. So we could buy even more stuff, for the community. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, look at you, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was a good experience. It was hard selling that thing, man, because they do some really cool art.
Yeah, that was that Cargo one was kind of the first time that I heard about it, and I think it was like KO from the Monsters community who was talking about it, and it got my attention for sure.
Look up Monogrid by them. It's
Monogrid.
I don't think it's on ArtBlocks or FX Hash. I think it's just on Ethereum, and I think it's one of their kind of like a lot of people have it on their. I'm pretty sure it's Monogram on their Grail list, and it's cool. Is it Monogram?
Same artist though as Cargo?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
Let me look if I can find it. By Kim Asendorf.
That sounds right. Yeah, Kim Asendorf.
So let me just look up this name real quick.
Monogrid, that's it. Monogrid.xyz. I want to say that one's...
You're going to make me buy something I shouldn't. Yeah, these cargoes are really cool.
No, Monogrid is Tezos.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I didn't realize that. So, but they're like at 1,800, I think, or something, or 9,000. What are they at? Floor price is 5,800 Tezos on the Monogrids. So, yeah.
It's loading. I need to see these now.
That's kind of a strange website, to be honest. But
they're
just numbered. That's kind of cool. Actually, this is a cool website. Oh, wow.
Mono.
You just click on it, and it goes full screen on it. That's cool.
Oh, this is a trip.
So I think I want to say it's one of their first projects that I don't think was on FX Hash. I think it may have been released on like Hen or Tia or something else. I'm not 100% sure on that though.
It's actually a really cool website. Whoa. I think I want one of these.
Here we go. Yeah, they were created in 10/2021. It's a collection of 256 real-time animations created by Kim Asendorf. That's cool. So they're kind of old.
Yeah. Studio One. Rest in peace, Taya or Hen. Yeah, these are crazy. I like these.
Yes, they've been doing that style for a while, and they are good at it, man. I love most of their projects. I mean, they've done some cool stuff. I've been looking at I'm pretty sure I'm going to put a bid on something on FX Hash as one of my next purchases for them. I'm not sure which one though. I think I'm going to do reading a book because it was their first FX Hash release. I hope I'm going to go check and see if I'm actually saying that project right.
No worries. I'm looking at these right now. These look cool. I'll link them in the show notes too. Let me make a note of it real quick.
Yeah, reading a book. That's what it's called. There's 1,000 of them, and it was their first
Want to
project.
link it for me real quick? Oh, these look nuts.
Okay. So yeah, that was their first project on FX Hash, and yeah, it's probably the cheapest one out of all their projects. I think also, but probably because there's 1,000 of them, and the other ones are a lot smaller. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You sent me down a rabbit hole now for sure.
Enjoy. It's a
Thank
wonderful
you.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think going back to, I'm kind of with you on almost all the ones. I think with the ones that you've selected, I do like autoglyphs.
Oh yeah, autoglyphs. Yeah, that's an obvious choice
because they're on chain. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They are on chain, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for on chain stuff.
It's definitely a good thing to be a sucker for. Honestly.
At first I think like anything else that's gen art, I think about the Monsters community. Hi, I'm Dave. It's just like a bunch of lines and triangles, and I'm like,
he hates generative art, doesn't he?
I think he's warming up to it, but yeah, I think he's a good. He critiques pretty hard. It's kind of hilarious.
I was listening to one of their spaces, and he started going off on. I think it was Fidenzas or something.
It was
universally loved. I was just like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
it's funny. It was a good take. It was funny.
You sometimes need that opposite opinion a little bit for sure.
Definitely.
But it cracked me up because I showed Fidenzas to my wife, and she was like, "This is nice," and I was like, "Yeah, this is nice." I'm like, "But it's also over $100,000." And then she was like, "Yeah, it's not that nice." And I was like, "It is, but we just don't own it. That's what it is." Yeah, so Fidenzas are definitely like super nice. I like Meridians.
Oh yes, yeah.
Those aren't too bad in price right now. And then I like Squiggles.
There's been some low bent like 9 ETH for a Meridian lately, I think, or maybe even lower.
Like I saw one. I almost bought one when they were like at 5, I think.
Nice.
At the beginning of the bear, and I should have just pulled the trigger.
Ah man, I could say that about so many damn things.
I know.
Oh man.
I know. But once I found out about autoglyphs being on chain, because at first I was like, yeah, man, they're just like, what the hell is this? I'm like, this is just triangles. I was like, Dave, this is triangles and lines. I don't like this. And then I started researching and learning more about it, and I was like, yeah, I need this
provenance to it.
Yeah, I need this. But yeah, it's funny how that works.
Have you used anything like Club NFT, where they do backing up of your NFTs on Tezos? And have you heard of it?
No, I never heard of that. What is that?
It's a service that you can sign up for, and you can literally back up the NFTs you've purchased, and like it'll send you notifications when like, hey, you haven't backed up this amount of NFTs, and so it's a way of just kind of taking a better ownership of the stuff you own, where you can literally download. I mean, I don't want to. I think you should go read about it. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go read about it.
There's so much to it. It's definitely, if you collect a lot of Tezos, you should look into it.
Yeah, I'll go look at this. This is interesting. I've actually never heard of this. How did you stumble upon this?
I don't know. Twitter and just being on Tezos a lot. I don't know. I really don't know how I came across it. Maybe somebody I follow.
The algorithm got you somehow.
I think maybe ArtGnome. They may be a big personality in the Tezos. Yeah, ArtGnome. It's on the website. It's him. So if you don't follow him, you probably should too. Honestly, he's a cool guy in the Tezos system or scene system.
Looking him up right now. ArtGnome Uwu.
Let me see if there's a link to him on this website.
No, it's not this person. This person only has 80 followers.
That's probably not him. Why isn't there a better... I mean, I'm following him. Let me just search his name. CEO at Club NFT. Hold on, I'm gonna post it.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
Got him. Oh, this guy looks interesting. I already like him. His hat's awesome. Art now. It's so funny. It's the crazy thing about like the NFT space. There's so much information coming at you from all different places, and like you could be in it. I don't know. Maybe I guess I'm not like deep in it then. I guess on this side of the neck of the woods, but yeah, like
What the Tezos side?
yeah, you know, like I don't know, like I'm in it pretty deeply. I thought, but I guess not. Guess you learn more every day.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything you're looking forward to right now? Like either in the ArtBlocks space, FX Hash, or anything really?
There is an ArtBlocks project by someone I follow that she comes out with some cool stuff. Lisa Orth is the artist, and
oh yeah, I've seen her name.
Yeah, she's got an ArtBlocks project coming out, and it's called Speak to Me. So it's, I don't know, I just really like the style of it. I think it comes out next week sometime, and it's a presents, I think, not a curated, so it goes for, they're usually more affordable. So it's something, I don't know, I'll watch the price on and see how the Dutch auction goes, and I might buy one for the community wallet to give away, possibly.
Awesome stuff, man. I love that you're doing the giveaways and stuff like that. That's great. What was I going to ask you? So I think you mentioned actually that V0 of the work in progress for the brushstrokes hasn't dropped. You know, what are obviously I'm not going to hold you to it or anything, but like what are you thinking timeline for anyone that's listening?
I mean, I could really do it at any time, but I mean, it's hard to decide you want it to be the right time, but like when is that?
Yeah, the
market's kind of been weird. I'm just kind of waiting it out a little bit and seeing if engagement gets a little bit better. And I don't know if that's a good idea in the long run, though. Like the people who are left over, should I just try and reward them now and just release this thing? And obviously anybody that owns a brushstrokes, it's going to be free for them. I'm going to figure out a way where they don't have to pay anything to mint it, and then there'll be a public auction where it's not going to be very expensive. I mean, it'll be I don't even know how much, less than 10 Tezos most likely, if anybody. I mean, I don't even know how many what the size is going to be. There's just a lot of factors I'm not sure about, but I'm going to talk to some other artists about that stuff soon and just see what their opinions are about it and see what they think and just go from there. But it's definitely going to happen, I think, in the next month or two at the latest.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's a weird time in the market, like you said. So I don't blame you. There's a lot of. I feel like. What was it like in Super Rare? There was like only 2 auctions at one point or 3 auctions. Like I don't think many people are minting or anything.
Yeah, I think people are a lot of people are waiting and just biding their time. It seems like. Yeah,
I do get that though. Like trying to reward people that are still in there with you right now, when probably we're towards the lowest of lows.
Hey, taking a quick break. I want to talk to you guys about the DJs agreement. If you guys could subscribe, give this podcast a rating, greatly appreciate it. It helps keep free content coming to you. Also want to give you guys a heads up. I had to edit part of this. We talked about art history, and just learning more about it during this bear market. So yeah, thanks again for supporting the show, and let's get back to it.
So if you have any book recommendations, feel free to send them my way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I ended up just asking ChatGPT to give me a list.
Not a terrible idea.
Yeah, I was like, just tell me what I need to read to understand 80% of everything, and it's like, here you go. And I was like, all right, well, I was actually gonna write a series about let's see how good ChatGPT with its top 10, how good it is, and probably just write about that. I probably still will do that, to be honest. We'll see how good I come out the other side.
Well, you may get stuff that's slightly older unless they've updated recently, because in most of the knowledge that ChatGPT uses from like 2000 or 2021 or something like that.
Yeah, 2021, I think September 2021. But I think
Yeah.
like now, like the new version, so I've been playing around with like the premium version. I think like that one connects to the internet or something. But
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, even so, you know, September 2021, that's still
Yeah,
still
it's
pretty
fairly new.
fairly new, you know, like
What has
anything
come out
that's like
recently.
post September 2021, I'm like, I got NFTs for that, you know, it's like
Right.
yeah, yeah, it's more just like the older stuff because you know I see like you know Dez, he like he does a really good job of like the Madonna in the garden, like he does a really good job of grabbing some of that older art and conforming it to his style.
Yeah.
Which I really like. And sometimes I'm like a caveman. I'm like, I understood like half of what he said. And I'm like, I need to be better instead of just being like, ooh, like it glitches or it moves or
Pretty.
I like it's pretty. Yeah. Like that's about the extent of my adjectives. I'm like, all right, I should be a little bit better and more articulate about it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably said cool like 100 times in this.
I mean, hey, it's good enough, right? I mean, it's so funny though. I don't know if you listened to my previous episode with Revza where I was like, you know, I was thinking about like the comment where you said about your daughter and just in general, you know, where I was like, is the art that we all like on Twitter, and this is obviously under the assumption that most people in, you know, crypto NFT world are most predominantly men, is the things that are like pumping, so like apes, PFPs, and MFers and all this. Is it are they pumping, and do people like them because we're all mostly men and that's what
it
sells
appeals to you,
know? Yeah, and it like caters to us, I guess.
Yeah.
Versus like what you were saying, like quote unquote girly or whatever.
I mean, I say that for some things. She's like, there's girly things that she loves, but then she loves. I mean, she was born on Halloween, so she likes horror stuff. So I mean, there's some weird stuff that she likes as well that I wouldn't think she would like. So I don't know. It's interesting.
And, watch her be like, Dad, I really love Rip Cash. You gotta get one of those. And you're like, what? Where did that come from?
Well, then my son likes pink and he likes flowers, but then he also likes Left 4 Dead and, you know, I mean, it's just it's funny. It's
humans are complex. Let's just say
yes,
that.
definitely.
Humans are complex for sure. Good for him though. I'm glad that he likes pink. I also tend to like pink as well and wear it and all that and
I have a
and
pink
like
shirt.
Hispanic culture, like with the older Hispanic generation, you know, they're always like, "Why are you wearing pink?" And it's like, why do you care? Like, it's just a damn color,
right?
Let's see. Yeah. Anything else that you wanna, you know? Do you wanna shout out your newsletter or anything where people could find you? Anything of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, on Substack, it's at the Culture Project now. You could just go to substack.com and do / or / whichever one it is, at the Culture Project, and it'll take you to me and all the stuff that I write, which I predominantly write about FX Hash, but I do cover some artists that do ArtBlocks as well, and I've written about photography and some other random stuff. But yeah, and then there's the Twitter where there's at the culture_art, which is our Culture Project Twitter, and then mine is at Josh Ripple. If anybody wants to give a follow.
I'll definitely link them all as well, so people can just click on them and all that. And then I think before we kind of wrap up, because I think we've kind of been at it now for hour 15. Actually, I think there was one more before we get into this last one, but yeah, let's talk about this Alpha Group project that kickstarted this whole thing.
Dots,
man. Yeah.
So curious. I mean, it's actually it hasn't been fully minted out. There's 10,000 of them, and the mint mechanism is tied to the price of Ethereum. So there can't be 10,000 of them until Ethereum hits 10,000. So yeah, so I mean, it was a very unique the way that you were able to get them and be able to mint them was just so different than anything else. And the art is just really cool and weird and different also. They're the little bugs, and the whole thing is they're bugs that live within code. So they're dots. They're like, the whole thing is, oh man, it's such an interesting project. They would do like these Orwellian quotes, and like there's all these puzzles. And it was another project where you had no idea who the artists are. You still don't. And it was just a lot of people that got together that were just really smart, different kinds of programmers, different people that are good at puzzles. There's just different aspects, and they all got together in this community and kind of ran it. It was a community made, and there was no artist or leader. It was just the people that got into it bottom and thought it was really interesting. And the only way that you could communicate with the artist or anything was through Twitter. They would change like the banner to some cryptic message, or they would retweet some weird video that had to do with Orwell that said something specific. And there was like all kinds of quotes we would do, like, all animals are equal, but some animals are equal than other, or more equal than others. And man, it was so different.
I'm looking at it. So is it ... dots?
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, this thing is crazy.
And it, unfortunately, they obviously thought Ethereum was going to get to 10,000 faster than it has, because it hasn't.
I feel like that makes it better, though.
I did too.
Right? Because, obviously, like, everyone minting out's always, like, you definitely want minting out to be a thing. And
well, it's hard to keep interest, obviously, in the space. Like we've said before, it moves so fast. So, like, when the puzzles came fewer and fewer because they didn't think it would take this long, I don't even know how long it's been. Yeah, it's been a long time. It was one of the first Ethereum NFTs I purchased, I think, like one of the first kind of PFP ones I did. And it was my PFP for 6-7 months probably.
I think I actually remember you as this PFP.
And I met a lot of, like I said, smart people in that Discord that were programmers, and a lot of them went on to do stuff with brushstrokes and helped him with some stuff at first, and they went on to do their own projects and a lot of them have done very well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this one out.
It's another rabbit hole, man.
It is.
It's crazy that it's not. There should be like a NFT Hall of Fame, a website where it like highlights really cool projects like these and other ones that are just unique.
I agree on that, actually. That'd be good. Yeah. Well, thanks for explaining that one, because I was like, I'd never heard of this thing, but that it all makes more sense now, because I swear I remember seeing you with that PFP for a while.
I still see it randomly, man. There's still some people rocking them. It's cool to see every now and then someone on Twitter or in Discord that has one.
All right. So for the last question, so I think, as you remember, I think you've been reading my newsletter as well. Pinchos is kind of like tapas, snacks. So what is your favorite snack?
Oh man, I like chocolate and caramel together. So
that's a good combo.
I don't know, like caramello. That's probably one that I've been eating a lot lately. And I don't eat a lot of candy, but I probably eat 1 or 2 of those a day. And they're just these little squares that come in individual packets. Well, I guess I probably buy the miniatures, honestly. It's probably a candy bar. But yeah, that's my snack. And then, I tend to drink milk and eat chips at night before bed for some reason. I'll watch a show and I'll just eat a little bit of chips and drink some milk before I go to bed.
Oh, man, that's awesome. I love that. It's the simple things in life sometimes.
It is.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for doing this pod. I appreciate your time, man.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on here and letting me talk about the Culture Project and everything. It means a lot.
Yeah, of course, man. And when I read that, I'm glad that you wrote that article, because when I read it, I was like, I had no freaking clue. Like, this was what? I was like, this is crazy.
That's like what I was thinking. People are joined into Discord and they literally have no idea what has happened. And I was like, I need to write something, and it's been a year. So I mean, like, I should let people know what this is about, so they're not confused and I don't have to explain it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. No, I honestly, I'm glad that you wrote it, and I'm glad that you jumped on here, and I'm hoping, I'm wishing you, I'm rooting for you, man, because I think it's hard what you did, stepping in like that and running NFT projects. I mean, I could only imagine. Like I've minted some of my stuff, and some of it's sold, and some of it hasn't. Like so. You experience a little bit of the highs and lows, but like never 50 ETH or
Yeah.
100, nothing of that nature. So I applaud you for doing that and for stepping up for the community, for the community that you were a part of, instead of just letting it wither and die. So yeah, I think kudos to you, and definitely a great story. And I'm hoping the launch of this new project is a success, and hopefully it revitalizes it to better things.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.